Honorable Union Minister, esteemed Chancellor, distinguished dignitaries, faculty, and most of all students, thank you for the opportunity of having me speak to you. What I wanted to do today was talk about a few things that have had me in good stead as I work through my personal professional career to get to the stage that I'm in. And I'm hopeful some of the things I'll talk about to you today will also help you as you open the doors for employment for yourself and move into the future. But before I do that, I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the VIT students we have working at eBay. These students have been some of the best students we've had in all of our history in India. It is a testimony to this great institution, the effort that you guys have put in here, and the education that has been imparted upon you. It isn't common that an educational institution in India is able to produce the caliber of students that you guys are. So I'm really, really proud of all the work that you're doing. And let me tell you a little bit in specifics some of the things that VIT students in eBay have achieved. So we just recently had a data hackathon, and the youngest team in all of eBay, around 146 countries, that won the hackathon was from VIT working at eBay. Another team from VIT built the website for PayPal. There were 97 teams participating to build the website, and this was the team that yet again came forward. Very new students, I think 2013 batch, that won the Website of the Year award, so congratulations to them. There are many, many accolades and rewards these new students have won at eBay. But what I want to talk about is your future. What are the things that you should be doing and thinking about as you graduate? So I'll not talk for a long time, but I'll talk about 3 or 4 different things that I think will make a lot of sense to you. First of all, you're the best of the best. You are the gold medalist. You're the top of your university. You feel you've worked really hard. You feel you've achieved a lot. But guess what? Life is just beginning for you. You don't know what you don't know. And there's a lot to know. And so what I ask as the first thing from you guys is to be humble and to show humility. Let me give you an example of what happens in this world. In March of 2007, a company called Nokia launched a wonderful, beautiful phone. The phone had a camera in it. It had a QWERTY keyboard in it. You could actually go on the internet on this phone. This was March of 2007. Then April of 2007, another great company called Motorola launched a phone called the Razr. I don't know if any of you have seen that phone, but it was a phone that was a clamshell design. It was beautiful. It was very thin. It was about 4 mm thick, maybe 8 mm, I'm not at that level. But this phone just looked really, really nice. Then in May of 2007, another company called BlackBerry launched their 8350 mobile phone. This mobile phone had a color display in it. You could send messages to each other. And it was the talk of all enterprises around the world. But guess what happened in June of 2007? A company that had never built a phone in their lives before, a company that was fledgling a little bit, a company that was not known to be in the mobile space, created something called the iPhone. And you know what happened to Nokia, to Motorola, to BlackBerry? These companies either have been sold or don't exist anymore. So anything can happen at any time. So humility is very, very important. These companies thought they were at the top of their game. They knew everything in the mobile space. But the reality is anything can come from the left side, and you will not know what hit you. So you have to always be humble. You don't know what you don't know. So that's the first point I would like to make. The second point I would like to make is that you have to look at the big picture. You cannot think about incremental changes in life, whether it be in your personal life, whether it be for the country, or whether it be for the companies that you work at. You cannot look at making small incremental changes. You have to look at making step changes. You have to look at the larger picture. And let me give you another example. There was a time when people were looking at building axes to cut forests down. And if you went to somebody and said, I want the best instrument you can give me to cut this forest down, the manufacturer would look at, okay, let me build you a better axe. Let me make sure the axe is very light so you can cut more trees. Let me make the axe extremely sharp so that it is able to go through really quickly through the trees. But guess what? While this person is thinking about a better axe, there's another company looking at making a chainsaw. And if you keep thinking about making things better in small ways, in incremental ways, somebody else is thinking the bigger picture and making that chainsaw. So you better be ready for somebody making that chainsaw. So that's the second lesson I would like to impart upon you, is to look at the larger picture. Third, we live in a very complex world, and we need to simplify things. Things are getting increasingly complex. And we, as engineers, or as educators, or as new students coming out into the job market, love to take simple things and make them more complex. If you were to ask an engineer, excuse me for a second. If you were to ask an engineer in my company, hey, what is this? One set of people will say, hey, this is a polycarbonate bottle with 2 hydrogen atoms and 1 oxygen atom combined together through electrolysis at 34 degrees Celsius temperature. That's how we are. We need to be able to simplify things. This is a bottle of water. That's all it is. And you need to be able to make that bottle of water. Thank you. Anything that you do, if it requires you to make a pencil, don't go out there and try to make a pen with 16 different ink types in it. Don't go out there and try to make something more complex than it needs to be. We live in a complex world, and what you need to do is take very complex things and make them very simple. That's the future. And finally, the fourth point I would like to leave with you people is that have a questioning mind. Question everything. Don't be satisfied with the status quo. Don't be satisfied when people tell you this is how things are done in India, or this is how things are done in the college, or this is how things are done in your company, or even at home. Don't do that. Question everything. And there is nothing known as a bad question. And I'll tell you, I've received my education in the United States. And when I was doing my master's in the United States, in a hall probably half the size, I was teaching computer science. And in the course, if you were in the United States, you will recognize that most of the students in these computer science classes are people either from India, or from China, or from Russia. And the remaining are people from America or European countries. Most people are from our part of the world. And in the classroom, when I would be giving a lecture like this, not one single Asian person will raise their hand and ask a question. Not one person. All the Americans would raise their hands and ask, hey, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And then you would start wondering, as an educator, do these people really get it? Do these Asian students really understand what I'm talking about? Are they lost? Are they thinking about their home? Are they thinking about other thoughts? But guess what? The minute that bell would ring, all the Asian students would come around me and literally ghirao me and ask me, Mr. Pahuja, on page 56, paragraph number 3, it says this in the book. I don't think that's right. This is wrong. And this was the most amazing experience to me. And I felt, if these people know so much, they're so smart, why is it that they're not coming up and opening up their minds and asking me the questions in the class? Why are they so afraid? And then I read an article a while ago in one of the newspapers here. It said, it really goes back to our heritage. It really goes back to our systems. Can you imagine 50,000 British ruling 275 million people? Do you think this country would have been ruled by the British if these 275 million people started asking these British questions, tough questions, hard questions? It would have been impossible for them to govern this country. Then at home, I'm come from a Hindu family. My father is not the eldest in the house, and there is this concept of karta. And if I went to him and said, hey, I want to ask you a question, the answer would be no. One day I came back from the US from my studies and I said to my dad, hey dad, let's have a man-to-man conversation. Let's have a man-to-man conversation, Dad. You know where that went? There's only one man in this house. You can see your way out. We, as parents, do not encourage people asking questions. You're labeled a troublemaker. Even in our colleges, even in our schools, if people ask too many questions, we're not encouraging them. So what I would ask for you to be successful in the world, not just in India, but in the world, have a questioning mind. Question everything. Don't be satisfied with the status quo. So 4 things that I mentioned to you. First, show humility. Be humble. Second, be sure that you look at the larger picture. Don't look at incremental changes. Look at step changes in life. Third, simplify. Simplify everything. And fourth, have a questioning mind. And if you were to do those 4 things, I think the world is your oyster. So thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, distinguished guests.